Hi, hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Chat and That podcast. We are finally here in months of working it out and stuff like that, and finally we got it booked. But we've got a very first guest today, and that is the amazingly talented Ollie. How you doing?
Hello,
Thanks
mate.
for being on it.
That's right. I'm
How do
happy
you
to
say
be
your
here.
surname?
Blakeway.
Blakeway. Right, Ollie Blakeway. Well, thanks very much for being here.
That's all right.
So why have you come here?
Because I tell you what, I've wanted to do a podcast for a very long time.
Really?
I actually wanted to do one myself, and with my friends. And then I thought, like, the stuff that we'd want to talk about probably shouldn't be out in the public. No, that sounds bad. That sounds really bad. I just mean like we would probably just be talking about friends at school and stuff, and this was obviously when I was back in secondary school, and it wouldn't have meant anything to anyone, so there was no point putting something like that out. But no, I like having deep conversations and having a reason to have a deep conversation. So
Awesome. Well,
yeah.
I just want to point out that Ollie actually helped me with this today. This is not all me. And then Ollie just came in. He helped me out, set this all up with Calum. So thank you to them. But my first question is, tell us your deepest, darkest secret. No, I'm joking. Why? So the first, where did we meet?
Where did we meet?
Where did we meet? Because first year seems a bit of a blur to me.
I guess it would have been the first couple of lectures. I know you were probably the bubbliest of the year.
God, yeah.
when we started. So it probably would have been Rob's lecture. Rob's our obviously course leader. It probably would have been his first lecture.
Yeah, but I want to know the exact
time that we had a conversation.
Oh, I think I know.
What?
Oh, I think I know, because I had drone in my head, and I was like,
No, that was later in the year.
Was
though.
it?
Yeah.
No, because I think the first time we spoke to each other was I was walking back from Birmingham one day, going up to my flat, and all of a sudden I hear this zzz. What the hell is that? What's going on? Why? Zzz.
No,
I
but
thought it was some sort of wasp.
I think that was more in the spring though.
You had a hood on. You had a hood, and like you were another guy. You were like zipped up, so it was kind of winter time.
I was that guy.
But the first time the first time I remember meeting you was you were flying this drone outside Burma. But I was like, what the hell's going on? I see this drone flying around, and you're on the Burma steps.
Mm.
And I came up. I think you were with somebody else. I don't know who it was. And I said, oh, you're the guy on my course. And you went, yeah. And I said to you, can you please, for the love of God, stop flying the drone outside my window? And you're like, and then that's it.
I feel like we probably had a conversation before that.
Really?
Like around lectures when we were making our music video for our first project.
Oh yeah.
Because obviously I was in Hope's group.
Yeah.
So I think maybe you were there for that or something.
Who else was in your group for that?
So we had John and Xander.
Not Toby.
No, so Toby was an actor.
Oh, Toby was an actor in it, and he had Dustin in it as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was very good. That was very good.
It's not my proudest work.
Yeah, I think it's the first. I think everyone's first music video isn't their proudest because it's like the first thing.
Yeah.
But why film? Why Winchester? Why this course?
A couple of reasons. I used to be really into art, so like GCSE I did fine art. Got quite a good grade for it. Was always drawing and stuff like that. And then I got really interested in photography. I was always using my phone, like to take photos, and I'd always go above and beyond to make it look all artsy, and people were like, what are you doing? It's good fun. And then, so I thought, you know what, I'll go and do A-level photography. And again, I picked that up quite quickly because I was just constantly researching stuff, watching YouTube videos on photography. And I love it. I still do a lot of photography at the moment. But then I thought, this is a bit limiting. I mean, obviously photography is a great career, but I want to do something even more difficult, more creative, that's, you could tell a story and people don't just look at it for like 10 seconds on Instagram and like, oh, that's a nice photo. Whereas they actually, for a film that you watch it for an hour and a half, you sit down, watch it with your family, it's a lot more meaningful in people's lives. So yeah, I guess I just felt like I had more of a purpose in film than photography.
But Ollie, I'm gonna speak. The thing is, Ollie, you're very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, but you've got to stop being good because you make my stuff look really bad by comparison. I mean, you're just insanely good.
I wouldn't say I'm
You're very
insanely
good
I
at
would
what you
say,
do. All your stuff looks all your stuff looks amazing.
Thank you. I think I'm definitely more invested in cinematography. I think my storytelling skills, my sound mixing skills, anything else other that's not cameras and lighting, is lacking a bit. And I think in a way that's kind of my own fault because I have focused so much on cinematography. But I know that's what I want to do. So obviously all the work that you see of mine is me doing cinematography because that's all I choose to do. But yeah, I guess I practice a lot and I watch a lot of films. But actually a lot of my inspiration comes from YouTube, learning stuff. Obviously the lectures help a lot with it, learning
lectures.
Film. But no, I've watched a lot of tutorials or behind the scenes of stuff and learn a lot from just other people doing it. And also you learn the reason why they're doing it as well, like why put a light there? Like, is it what's motivating that light? Whereas obviously when we were back doing music videos, I had loads of lights. I didn't know where to put them because I didn't know why do we have loads of lights. Like, yeah, it looks good, but where are we putting them? And now I've kind of realised like you want to, have some ceiling lights and motivate the light by bouncing a light off the ceiling. I don't know.
But my weakness is cameras. I'm sorry, confession. I cannot for the life of me understand how to use them. Like I'm trying to get it. This is why I'm on the course. I'm trying to get it drilled in my mind. I have post-it notes on my wall, and it says white balance, ISO.
Well, it's difficult. There's a lot of things to remember, and like a lot of the time, like you just want to get this camera set up and you just want to film, and then you have to check the settings and make sure that your frame rate's right, like we had to do just now. And I think for me, I had 2 years of photography to get used to ISO, white balance, aperture, shutter speed, obviously frame rate and bit rate, not so much, but so I had a kind of a longer introduction into it. And again, a lot of YouTube videos.
Why from linking it from like cinematography, you said you did art and stuff, what made you interested in movies? Because when you said you did drawing and stuff, I suspect you go into painting, but what was the movie bit, the filming bit?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I think my artwork was always like quite cinematic. I liked the moody aspect of like art, like for example when it came to photography, like taking photos in like a really dark misty place.
I see. So photos
like adding some atmosphere. Yeah, and I just really like the kind of the feeling that you get from such an atmospheric thing, and I think that came. Originally, I was just drawing for fun. I was like, you'd finish it and it would look quite good, or you could add to it and make it better, and it was a really rewarding process. And then I realised that photography is quite similar. You can take a photo, but you can also spend 10 extra minutes moving stuff about or adding lights if you're obviously doing some portraits or something like that. And you're very much in control of what you make. And I guess, again, the same for cinematography. I wanted to be able to manufacture a feeling, I guess is probably the best way to put it.
What's so you said like out of like sound and lighting and stuff like that and all the other stuff, what's like your biggest weakness out of the lot?
This is gonna sound ridiculous, but I always consider myself quite a creative person.
You are.
I think that comes a lot from technical aspects though, where it's like I'm I'm thinking, oh, what can make this better? And I'm thinking, maybe like is missing something behind the person. Maybe add like a like a blind shadow kind of thing. But I feel like that idea is also motivated a lot by like what technically needs to be in this shot, for example. So going back to your question, I think when it comes to just being creative for the sake of being creative, I think I struggle. Like script writing, and like telling a story in an interesting way can be quite difficult. Like going into depth and making a proper structure, like holding back information and stuff. Like when it comes to script writing, yeah. I wouldn't say I haven't got a clue, because obviously I think a lot of it is just like life experience when it comes to script writing, and also watching loads of films and reading loads of scripts and just the exposure to content like that. But yeah, definitely not my strong point.
What is your process to starting a project here? Like where do you begin, and how do you get it started and stuff like that? So if you were making a film here, what's your process?
I think it depends on what it is. If it's like a narrative film, it very much come down to I guess obviously a documentary is very different, but a narrative film, it comes down to what do I want to film.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily thinking about the story at that point. I'm thinking what's going to look great on camera, what locations can I use to make this film look incredible, and then from that, often the location and the time of year and everything informs the story a lot. So for example, if you find a manor house and you want to light it with like really like strong daylight, and you want it all like hazy, like it's untouched, like an abandoned manor house, for example, then you've got a location. Then you just need to add a couple of characters. You want to make them interesting, not necessarily what you'd expect from that kind of place. Maybe it's exactly what you expect, but they don't act the way you expect. And it's just throwing things in and just throwing ideas about. A lot of the time when I'm making films with Will, for example, it's adding some comedy aspects that don't necessarily make it a comedy, but it breaks the tension a bit and you just have a bit of a chuckle. But I think definitely location, like time of year / time of day that you want to film, or make it look like. Then characters, and then just building a story off of that, making it a little bit funny, but having loads of tension.
Because a film I've got in my mind, which I was blown away by, was the one with the giraffe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah. Again, that was the exact same process. So it was.
We worked with Harrison. Yeah.
So Harrison was my first AD for that. So I was kind of, because I wrote the script and had a good idea of what I wanted, and obviously I do cinematography, so I was both the cinematographer and the director on that. So I knew that I needed someone just to kind of take a bit of the weight of the directing and the people management, because I knew I was going to be so focused on kit and getting the shot that I would probably just forget about people's welfare. So
did he come purely to help you out?
Yeah,
Nice.
So me and Harrison have worked quite a lot over the last year or so.
Yeah, did you work? You didn't work on. Yeah, you did. Well, you did work on Money Mule, but you didn't work on Last Night Emeralds.
No. So yeah,
you worked on Money Mule.
I worked on Money Mule, but only for the reshoot, because I didn't actually know them back when they were shooting the main film. I was quite busy with Winchester Film Festival and like other projects. Yeah. I was kind of just a bit overwhelmed. Didn't want to get into any F&Ps too early on.
Because they I heard someone say that they wanted a third year crew, because they wanted it to be,
yeah, well, I think the years above us were a bit more shut off to the idea of having people in years younger than them, because they thought, well, they haven't had as much experience.
I get that.
But I think because when we came in, I think our year was a lot more confident, a lot more chatty,
Yeah.
a lot more like trying to sell ourselves, which I think was also a really motivating part of being at uni. And I think I definitely think the kind of social aspects of the course definitely help with like getting work and stuff.
Yeah, our year is really different. Like it's really different because I spoke to people years before and they said, "Oh yeah, your year is very different. We all know each other." I went, "Oh," they said, "Oh yeah, we only know a few people and we don't." It's really interesting. Even Paul said it in a lecture. He said, "Yeah, your year is very different."
Well, I do find that interesting because it's like there's not loads of people in our year. There's like 50 people and we.
Is there 50 people?
40 people maybe.
Yeah.
I think when we started there was around 50 people.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like we're working on loads of different projects and kind of making our own projects, stuff like this, this podcast or doing interviews for things, and you have people come along and you work with different people. So yeah, I don't really know how other years don't really mix, I guess, but I guess they do.
COVID probably.
Yeah. And I think also, like, you do one project with a set of people and it works, so you keep that project, you keep that set of people.
Keep
I think
people,
also, like, it's good to obviously work with different people and learn to work with different people that you haven't necessarily worked with before, because you have to learn how they work. But there's definitely an advantage to working with people that you work with frequently. And I think that's why Harrison and Niles and all that and Kieran and Joe worked so well, because they worked and obviously all the girls from Red Mirror as well, they worked together all the time, so they knew how they work. And it was really interesting because I worked on a film Harrison was doing, which I don't know how much I can say about because I don't know how far it is in the development. I don't even know if it's still.
You can't say anything.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's still being made. To be fair,
is that the night one?
No, so that's a more recent one, but there was one in an antique shop. I think I can say that. That I worked on in September, and I worked with a couple of third years people that are above us, a year above us, and also people like the girls from Red Mirror who I hadn't worked with before, and it was just so interesting to see, like, they knew each other so well. They knew exactly what people would, and it was like they knew what Harrison was going to ask before he even asked it. For example, I
think that's. I think that works because they know each other. Very well as
definitely. And I think that is such a nice thing, and definitely makes uni projects easier when you can count on people, you know they're going to be there, and you know how they work. Kind of the flow of work is a lot easier. But I also like working with different people. I think it's really interesting because also you don't know everyone's strengths until you work with them.
Yeah, it's like a race. It's like a gamble, isn't it?
Yeah.
You go, oh, I know this person really well, but they're like, oh, are they good on set?
Exactly. It's like I know they're a nice person. I think they're reliable. We'll find out if they're reliable by working with them. And you also find like their skills. Like they might be interested in sound, but are they good at sound? And that sounds really like horrible because obviously if they're interested in sound, they still want to learn to do sound. But yeah, you have to have people that you know will get the job done. Unfortunately,
I think having 4 people that you work with, and then like having more people on set so you can try them out, like testing. Go, oh, I see that person's good at that, even though he or she's not part of my group. But you worked on. I really liked. You worked on Love Is Dead.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah,
that was really good.
It was a good film.
You did it in one day.
One day. Yeah,
that's what people. All right, that's what people told me.
So the montage sequence at the beginning was a separate day.
Yeah.
But the actual all the dialogue and narrative we shot on Monday.
That was really impressive because it was shot of like Toys R Us, an abandoned Toys R Us, and then there was like a warehouse.
So that was obviously part of the montage sequence. So that was another day, but again only one day to get all those shots, and going around Hampshire. I think we went to 4 or 5 different locations, just to get B-roll.
What was like?
Fiona won't like me saying B-roll. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
To get that scene.
But it was. I had to get up at. Thank you to you guys. I had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm joking. It was such a far away. Oh, because it was a B&B, wasn't it? I was going to say why was it so far away.
We had some troubles finding locations. I think as you do with student films, with no budget. Well, we had a bit of a budget, but not enough. So yeah, we ended up being quite limited in terms of space with that location as well. And obviously it was far away. Can't remember, it was in Surrey somewhere. But yeah, that was a bit of a pain because also not only do you have to go there for that day, we also had to go there the day before to set up and get all the equipment down there.
Yeah.
And then had to go back there the day after.
Was it just 4 of you putting the stuff there? Bloody hell.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the day after was a struggle because I can't remember how long the drive was. I think it was just over an hour. So it's not that far really. But after what was a 17-hour day, the day before going back just to take everything down and clean up. Because obviously we had to be out the Airbnb by 12, I think, was checkout. But it took hours to clean up because basically because the day before, like the actual shoot day was such a rush, stuff was getting left in different boxes and stuff. So it was a case of taking everything out of boxes, putting everything back in, knowing what goes in what boxes.
Really?
Yeah.
You were in Elena's group.
Yeah,
lovely Elena's like this.
Yeah. I think all of us are quite organised people, but we had a lot of people on set, and it was definitely towards the end. It was a rush because we are behind schedule. So it was a case of we don't need this light. Okay, we'll take the light down, turn it off, move it out of shot, leave it in a bush. No, not quite, but yeah, definitely just get it out of the way. We'll sort that out later. And
you found the script "Love Is Dead" online. Did you find that, or did you?
No, so that was written by. Oh, forgive me, I can't remember his name. Matt Wallow's friend. Ethan. That was written by Ethan Crowler.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I thought a lot of people got their scripts online, like an online thing.
Yeah, I think so. But
Ethan. Yeah.
So Elena's obviously got contacts with everyone.
Yeah. That's a good. That's a good thing.
That is a good thing. Yeah, she's very, very good director or producer. And
she's very good.
And also we had Toby as well as producer.
Toby and Holly.
And Holly. Lovely. We had a very good team.
I have to say you did work really hard because it's interesting how I saw you guys from like the back seats, and I know you off and on, and you're very, very good, and Toby's lovely, very hardworking. He helped me on my Blade Runner thing, and that was great. And also Holly is very hardworking. She was in the MMC like
all the time.
She basically lived there.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'd come in the morning and I'd go, "Hey, good morning," and she had like a coat on at like 9 a.m. I'd come in at 9 a.m. and I said, "Oh, you've just come in, Holly." He went, No, I'm leaving. I went, "Oh, you did an all-nighter?" "Yeah, with Amy and Vass." I went, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, right. And thank God she did. I really appreciate that because I think even then we were very close to the deadline. I think we shot quite early as well.
When did you shoot? Was it September, October?
It was late October, mid to late October.
Yeah, and in December was the deadline.
Yeah. So we had 6 weeks or so to edit. But I think we ran into a lot of issues with sound, and I think there was a lot of ADR which had to happen, which is a shame because I think it does reduce the quality of the film a little bit.
When you said sound, I it's like having PTSD. It's like all these sound, like I did college media, and all these like sound nightmares would come flooding. Oh God, there's a documentary I did, and God, I've cried twice over sound. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, that's the thing. If you're not monitoring it, like exactly what we're doing now,
right here, there's a mix free
and something goes wrong, like I know you weren't recording or it's all peaking or you got static noise the whole time.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, exactly. If there's something wrong, then it's ruined and you have to either reshoot or replace all the sound, but then obviously you have problems with syncing.
How do you? That's a good question. How do you deal with when you were working on Love Is Dead? How was it? How did you deal with, like, the pressure of being on set? Is there a way that you deal with? Because I've seen people be I've seen friends be stressed on set, and they kind of shout at me a bit, and I brush it off because I know that they've been. For 6 months, they've been focusing on this one day, and it's a hit and miss. And they go, "Oh, Matt, I apologise." I go, "Forget about it. I don't care," because I know that I'm with them because they've been. It's like an exam, really. But how do you deal with that pressure on the day? How do you deal with it?
I think it's a lot of a mindset thing. I think. You can only do what you can do.
Yeah.
You can go as quickly as possible, but at the end of the day, you still have to do the job well. So I still focus on getting the job done well. But yeah, you can only do what you can do. If you have to do add another day, you have to add another day. It's not the end of the world if something goes wrong. It's annoying.
It's annoying,
and it sets you back, and maybe it affects the outcome of the film, or the project, or how long the project takes. But yeah, I know that if I'm doing my best, I'm trying my hardest, and we're going as quickly as possible, and I'm double checking to make sure that nothing's going wrong, like I'm not recording in slow-mo by accident or something like that. Then
happened to me before. Yeah.
I think it's happened to everyone. Basically you can only do what you can do, and I think just being confident in your ability and knowing
learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. Learning from your mistakes, double checking everything, because even if you double check something 3 times, just knowing that isn't going to go wrong because you checked it, definitely calms stress. And also just enjoying it. Like, you're on set, you're doing something creative, you have to block out the stress and remember you're making a film, and that's exactly what you want to do with your life.
What is the biggest what was the next one? Biggest challenge out of all the, actually probably at uni and at film, what is like the biggest challenge you've overcome? Is there a certain filming bit that is there experience where there's a big challenge you've had, the biggest one you've had?
I think there's not one that springs to mind, but there's definitely been a lot of challenges. Things going wrong, not really working, or working in a group where stuff isn't progressing, or where we're not seeing eye to eye, and we have to, we're, for example, editing the script, and we can't agree on what's going to happen in that part of the script, or someone thinks, it's little things like, "Oh, I don't like that line of dialogue," and the other person is like, "Well, I really like that. I wrote that line of dialogue." And you're not always going to see eye to eye with everyone, especially when everyone's very passionate and creative, and they want their ideas to be made into a film. There's definitely teamwork, and just like trying to be on the same page can be difficult.
Is there anything that you've learnt on this course, like big wise? Is there anything that you?
Oh yeah, so
a
much.
lot. So you have progressed.
Yeah, definitely. There's so much, even just cinematography wise, that I've got so much better since the beginning of uni. Well, essentially, I didn't really know what I was doing at the beginning of uni. But also, I feel like uni's just been really eye-opening. Like, I've realised how important sound is, how much, what the producers do, how much they do, how important it is what they do. Learning exactly what each role does, because I think that's really important, to knowing not to step on other people's toes, but also to do your own job as well as possible. Because if you're a cinematographer and you're not thinking about lighting, at all, then you're not doing your job properly.
That it's interesting you said that, because that's kind of sparked a thing in me that before I came to uni, every time I go to the cinema, I'd walk out when the credits roll. And now since I've gone to uni, done film, I stay a little bit longer. And my brother kind of walks off and I go, "No, Alex, stay there." And he goes, "What? It's finished." I went, "No, but do you realise, like, I know Aquaman 2 is rubbish, but how many people had to work on that?" And and I get sad because a lot of people don't get that credit of hard work.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not realised. And people kind of hate on it. But I go, even if it's a bad film, a lot of people really put a lot of their hard work into it.
And especially like core crew, like, would have done months and months of pre-production.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the director would have sat in the writer's room and either written a script or edited a script that's been given to him. Then he would have worked with the DOP to do all the shot lists and then production design crew, and then all of that just to make sure that everything is in the right place. And then they then have to direct a whole team of people for 16 hours a day for about 70 days straight. And then when they finish that, they have to go straight into the editing room to advise the editors. And God knows how much paperwork is also involved in that on an actual set. And yeah, there's about a year and a half where they don't really stop.
Yeah.
And obviously directors are credited more than a lot of people, and I think that's rightly so. They put in a lot of work.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of people that do a lot of work still, and they're just a tiny name at the end of the film that people don't watch.
Yeah.
So I think almost in like a respect thing, I do like watching the credits, but also from a learning point of view, you learn, like, for this film, how many people did it take to do the set design on this scene?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't think people that aren't into film realise how much effort goes into making films.
I could tell you that when you said something like directors getting nominated, I don't know if you want to get your opinion on this, but the Barbie, Greta Gerwig, I get confused. Gerwig. Yeah.
Gerwig.
I screamed when I found that for the first time, and I was like, I can't believe that. I can't believe it that she's not nominated for.
Oh yeah.
I just can't believe that.
I know.
I can't.
The amount of work that again went into pre-production.
Yeah.
Before they even started filming on that film. And when you look at the set design.
Yeah.
And how, like, I watched the behind the scenes of the making of Barbie, and the amount of work that went into designing.
Yeah.
A wall or a dress that was in the background. Yeah, criminal.
But you know what pisses me off the most? This is what pisses me off, okay? Is Blu-ray behind the scenes bonus features, right? This is a homework for people here. Look at behind the scenes videos. It is usually the director, the actors, or the producers just repeating the story over and over and over again. So, for example, I really liked The Last of Us, the series. I really enjoyed it. But when I saw behind the scenes on the Blu-ray, it was just them repeating the same thing. Like, Joel's a person who's, depressed. Yeah, I know that. Joel's this character. Stop repeating the story. Tell me, what was it like? What was the problem? How did this affect? There was a snowy scene. Was it annoying to film in the snow? Have behind the scenes videos of actually filming on set, and it just drives me crazy.
I think the behind
and
the
at
scenes,
the end, I've learned nothing.
Yeah.
It just
the
pisses me off.
The scenes is such a good time to credit people as well.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like you said, like, you want to know what problems did they face, how did they fix it, who fixed it, or how many people were involved in fixing a problem. Like, I don't know. I can't think of one.
Yeah, The Hobbit. If you watch The Hobbit behind the scenes, it is brilliant because Peter Jackson does his like video log thing, and he says, "Oh yeah, we had," and then there's a bit at Hobbit 3, they had like huge problems, and there's a really stressed Peter Jackson. Like, this is perfect. And it was like actually recording him, and then they had interviews with the artist, and they said, "Oh yeah, we had these problems," and it's brilliant. But the other stuff, it's just some other films are just like, oh my god, it just drives me bananas.
I think a lot of the time they're making behind the scenes for the sake of making behind the scenes,
like an advert.
And I think it's just like, they just want to sell the story as much as possible. Whereas I think a lot of people, especially filmmakers and even people that aren't filmmakers, don't know how films are made, but they're interested in it.
Yeah.
Knowing how it's made is the reason for the behind the scenes. It's not just a selling point for the film.
And how do you feel about films being remade? Because I really loved the film Wonka, and when I sat in the cinema before I watched it, I do love it, but I sat in the cinema, I was like, they've kind of conned me again, because it's feeding off nostalgia. And Barbie's great. Again, unfortunately, feeding off nostalgia. There doesn't seem to be a new original idea. There seem to be original films, but it's all based on something that we know. I'm a bit tired of it.
Yeah, I was thinking this morning, actually, like, what is an original idea? Like, can you still make original ideas? Or authentic ideas? Because everything has been done in some form of capacity for films, whether it's only been touched in student films, or whether it's only been done once with a $300 million budget. Ideas have been done, and it's definitely difficult to be authentic and original.
I'm bored. Quite bored.
I think, going back to your question though, like, I think the remakes are really good for younger people that haven't seen the originals, because I think, for me especially...
There's no originals to watch. They just watch the originals.
Yeah, I know.
They don't need to remake it. They got the originals there.
Yeah, I think...
Mean Girls. I grew up with Mean Girls, but they don't need to remake it again.
Yeah. I think definitely there's just a bit of, like, making something so that people don't have to keep rewatching the same films. Like, if they're obsessed with it, just to get a bit of excitement, and they do sell. But I think, like, for example, like Ghostbusters, for example, have they made a remake of that?
They've done sequels of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I never actually watched the original, so
neither. I don't think I have either.
No,
I watched the second
it's
one.
like films like that that are remade. Top Gun being another one that I haven't actually seen the second one, but the second one coming out made me think, oh, I need to watch the first one first.
Right.
So yeah, I still haven't watched the second one. I've been meaning to do that for a long time. But yeah, no, I think it's just to keep the kind of excitement and the story alive. But I definitely think you can't beat authentic new ideas.
Well, we've spoken about film a lot. Let's speak about you.
Okay.
Speaking about film,
topic.
You're here. Yeah, your favourite topic. So you're from Kent. I'm sorry. I'm joking. If you're from Kent, I'm going to kill me now. I'm joking. So what do your parents do then? Because they're not filmed.
No. So nothing that creative, unfortunately. Well, my mum is a teaching assistant.
Nice.
But she's also like an art teacher in a primary school. And my dad is a IT technician. Manager.
So I think the two things combined, because you're very good at technical stuff, and then the art thing.
The interest in technical stuff and the kind of knowledge and just working stuff out has definitely come from my dad. My dad's very good at, like, you give him a problem and he'll fix it.
Wow.
Especially when it comes to computers and stuff, obviously, or anything electrical related. But even when it comes to DIY or plumbing, like, he figures it out. Yeah, and I definitely think just kind of a knowledge of that and an interest in that has come from my dad.
So, do you have any other siblings? Is it just you?
Yeah, so I've got a half brother. Well, he's my brother, but technically my half brother. But he doesn't live with me, and he hasn't ever lived with me full time. So he used to come at the weekends, but then go back to his mum's house in the week. And now he's got his own flat because he's older than me.
What does he do?
So he's a PE teacher in a private schoole.
A PE teacher, all right.
Yeah, so he's just finished uni probably a year or so ago.
I have a lot of respect for teachers. I mean, they're like the crew. They don't get They don't get
Exactly.
they get paid shit.
Yeah. Well, at least film crew get paid pretty well.
Yeah. Well, a lot of
do.
my close friends, a lot of my good friends are ex-teachers. I'm still in contact with a few of my ex-teachers, and and they should get paid.
Well, to me, I couldn't think of anything worse.
What, being a teacher
in a room full of 30,
same
30 loud,
Yep.
annoying kids.
Yep.
Just trying to teach them stuff, improve their lives against their will.
And don't get me started. We haven't got time for me to go on about. But particularly with children, actually. Could you say, like, what were your childhood like in a few words? Like, what was your childhood like?
Exciting. Sociable. Very loving.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like I had a very good childhood. I was quite lucky. My mum before she was a teacher, used to be a nanny for kids that were kind of a similar age as me. So like in the summer holidays and stuff when we weren't at school, she would still be working, so we'd be at their house, the people who she worked for, and she'd be looking after them and me at the same time.
Wow.
But it meant that, because obviously I was effectively in the week an only child, because I didn't have any siblings at home. It was really nice to have sociable time outside of like school and stuff. So and we were always doing different things and had stuff to look forward to. And I felt like I've always been a fairly positive person as well. So
yeah, you are
focusing on the excitement. And
Will you say anything to you? What would you say to your younger self? Because I know what I'd say. Stop bloody worrying.
Yeah, definitely. I saw a post on Instagram today that said, just remember that you're doing exactly what your dream was 5 years ago. And I think although I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do 5 years ago, I think if you had have told me that I was going to be at university studying film, that I would have been like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why don't you just start a business doing crypto and make loads of money? Because that was the dream originally.
What did you?
How are you going to get a Lamborghini
doing?
How are you going to get a Lamborghini doing film? That's what I would have said.
What did you do? What did you want to be when you were younger?
Rich.
Well, a business person.
Yeah, no, I wanted to do a lot of things.
I wanted to do Pixar. I wanted to work at Pixar.
Really?
I was like, no, I can't do
that. No, I've always wanted to do something to do with cars. I
really?
Absolutely love cars, especially supercars or luxury cars. Yeah.
Yeah. What are your hobbies? What do you like? What do you like doing? Cars?
Yeah, cars. So I drive. So I like driving, but obviously fuel's expensive, so can only do that so much.
Yeah. All the uni friends I've spoken to, they go, "Oh, I've got a job, but it all goes on the car." And it's
yeah. Exactly.
Or the rent.
Exactly. Working in the Christmas and the summer just to pay for car insurance and fuel.
Wait, what do you do as a job?
So I just work in a pub. I'm a barman at a pub.
You work in a pub?
Yeah.
No. I don't know. It seems like late hours and.
Well, I usually work.
You're gonna get.
I usually work 12 till 9, so it's kind of the majority of the day.
Oh, 12
hours. There's still a bit of time in the evening and still a bit of time in the morning if I could be bothered to get up early enough.
I don't want to do late nights like 2 o'clock in the morning.
No, that doesn't appeal to me too much. Because I feel like then you're only awake in the night time and it's probably quite depressing, to be honest. But
yeah, that's why I like working on sets, but I don't. I don't like early mornings. I don't like late nights. But I like work. I do, and also when even though I don't like it, I don't complain. And going back to, I like to help, and the person that's asked you to be on set, I like to help them as much as possible. So I do, but I don't think anyone likes it really. How do you like it working late at night?
I quite like it.
Really?
I'll be honest. I like it's like going to the airport early in the morning. It's just exciting.
That's an interesting twist on it.
Yeah, I like the excitement. I mean, I hate getting up early, and I'm always tired. But I drink a lot.
Right now.
Yeah. I drink a lot of energy drinks. which my mum isn't a massive fan of.
Same. I gave my a monster to my mum, and she went, "It's just a load of sugar, Matt." I went, "Oh, sorry."
But yeah, no, as long as I find the energy from somewhere, I do enjoy it.
Right.
But yeah, it's nice. It's rewarding to go back to your bed.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
it is,
knowing that you've worked hard, you've got shots that look really good, you've got everything you needed that day, and you've been on your feet all day, and you can just lay down. Although not often, it's not for long enough.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need 24 hours of sleep after a day like that. But
yeah, my graduate friends, who I'm very close with, they told me that they went, "Oh yeah, we're going to go home. We're going to sleep for 2 hours. No, we'll sleep for an hour, and then come back." Oh, okay. But yeah, it's just crazy how people work in the MMC all night.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't see the point in hour naps if you're really tired.
yeah.
Because for me, the danger is that I won't wake up.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, like, you're just teasing yourself at that point, going to sleep and not being able to enjoy it properly.
So this is the kind of question that I like to ask people when they're on the podcast. Is there in general? Is there a serious issue in the world, or you feel that needs to be addressed, or you feel like is there a thing serious issue that needs to be known more, or you think that needs to be solved? Is there, like, for example, stuff going out in the war, or in the world, or something like that?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of things wrong with the world, though, aren't there?
But you don't have to go on. But is there something that you're passionate about that you think this needs to be dealt with?
I'm a little bit worried that there's going to be an economic crash.
Really?
Soon. Yeah, I've watched. Obviously, you can't believe everything you see on the internet. But judging by what I've watched and read by fairly trustworthy sources, there's like a trend of, like, every 50 years there'll be an economic crash, and I think it slowly speeds up over time as we get more developed as a world. Yeah, I think that's probably slightly worrying, considering the price of houses is so high already.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you think, like, I have to work extremely hard just to have a proper living for the rest of my life at the moment. If there's an economic crash, what is the chances that I'm actually going to move out, kind of thing?
Yeah, how are we going to live? Because people kind of joke and say, "Oh, you're going to live with your mum till you're 50." I'm like,
yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's not a bad thing, and I don't blame them.
Yeah. Well,
seriously, what are we going to do?
Exactly. It's like, my parents have been quite happy with, like, open with the idea of me coming back from uni, moving back in with them for a few years, saving some money, until I can get a deposit on a house, because I think for some situations and some people, I think rent is a good option, and in some ways the only option, because trying to get a deposit for a house is a lot of money, and some people rent just works because they move around and stuff. I personally would really like to own a house, at some point in my life, if I ever get to that point. So yeah, I think being able to be at home will be a massive luxury, to be able to be able to save enough money.
I know. It's just, we don't have the time for that. I can go on it forever. Right, this is a fun bit now. Right,
Okay.
Quick fire questions. Okay. So, number one, what is your favourite film of 2023?
It's on Netflix. Sam Esmail is the director. Leave the World Behind.
Leave the World Behind.
Really,
Is that a Netflix?
really well shot film.
Is that a Netflix original?
I believe so.
Oh right, okay. Oh, I'll check that out.
Netflix exclusive.
Favorite film? It's quite a hard question. Favorite film of all time. I did send you these questions.
No, I know.
Sorry, no, it's fine.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I wanted to change my answer, but I'm gonna stick with the original. My favorite film is Cars.
Really? I
Does
love
that count?
Cars.
Obviously, it's animated, but yeah, no, Cars favorite film.
Right.
Watched it so many times.
Yes, but I love Cars, and I was really obsessed with Cars 2 when it came out as well.
Yeah.
And I look back and I go, it's a bit weird film, but I still love it.
Yeah.
Favorite filmmaker?
Christopher Nolan.
Right. Interesting. My brother likes him as well. Did you see Oppenheimer?
No.
You didn't see it
I haven't, no.
in the cinema?
No, I didn't.
Ollie, I thought... Wow.
I know.
You didn't do
Can
the
I
Barbie...
can I really say that Christopher Nolan is my favourite filmmaker at that point?
That's the thing. I've seen films that I love and I didn't see them in the cinema.
I think the reason I like him is because he just goes above and beyond to just make stuff insane, and he's using his budget to its full potential. Obviously, I don't know what he's like as a person necessarily. I've seen interviews with him and he seems alright. I have heard he's a bit of a knob.
Yeah.
And
he does original ideas. Like Interstellar, I was blown away by, and that's original.
Exactly. He comes up with a concept and he runs with it. Like, yeah,
it's great. Yeah.
Original ideas.
Favorite song you'd listen forever?
I like "Let You Down" by NF.
Let You Down.
Do you know NF?
No.
At all? Yeah, "Let You Down" is like his probably most famous song. It's the one that he got famous for.
What's his name?
NF. So the letters NF.
NF.
NF. Yeah.
What's that for?
So he's a
Not
rapper.
funny.
I don't know. Actually, no. It's his initials. Nathan. Something. I think he's European. I don't know what his surname is, but yeah. So yeah, I listened to that song on repeat for about a year, and every time I go back to it, it's so nostalgic. So,
if you could be a person for a day, who would it be? Could be living or dead. Someone we know.
Someone with a big car collection.
Someone with a big car collection.
That would be my dream. Just spend a whole day just driving expensive, fast.
Do you know Jay Leno? Yeah, he's because he's a multimillionaire. He has lots of cars. So yeah. Okay. So I assume much Top Gear when you were younger.
Oh yeah, loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Childhood celebrity crush.
Childhood. I don't remember necessarily when I was a child, but a few years ago when Outer Banks first came out, Madeline Klein.
Alright.
I can't remember her.
Outer Banks.
Outer Banks, yeah, it's on Netflix. Yeah.
If it helps, mine was Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie, yeah, valid.
Childhood celebrity.
So you like Barbie then?
Yeah, I did, yeah. Secret... Anyway, secret talent.
Secret talent. I think the reason I'm saying this is I don't think many people know this about me at uni. But I play the guitar.
Do you?
Yeah, I played it for quite a long time as well. So
are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Wow. Yeah, I'm. Yeah,
You're
I'm
quite musical as well.
Quite into music, yeah.
All right. I didn't know that. Wow, that's cool. Right, funniest drunk uni story. Not including me.
You know what? I haven't drunk that much at uni. I've never been like absolutely like out of my mind drunk while being at uni.
Don't have to answer.
I don't know, mate. I've had a lot of ridiculous nights, but
I can answer that question. I want to apologise to your girlfriend because every time I kind of see her at Bop with you, I get really drunk and I kind of joke with her, and she knows it's a joke, but I go, he's mine. And she goes,
she mentioned that.
Right.
She mentioned that to me the other day.
Did she?
Yeah.
It's weird. I always seem to be best friends with my friends' partners.
Yeah.
Like Toby and his girlfriend. We're like we've only met like twice, and we're like besties anyway. It's weird. I don't know.
Gotta watch out for you.
Yeah. Unknown fact about you.
Unknown fact. I honestly, when you sent me this question, I didn't have a clue how to answer this one.
That's all right. I think it's kind of the same with the secret talent one.
Yeah. Unknown. I don't know. I think it's a very broad question. I have a dog, a whippet called Ruby.
Ruby.
She's lovely. That's all I can think of right now.
What is a thing that you have that you really should throw out?
I feel like I'm quite a minimalist person,
Really?
and don't have like. I'm not too. What's the word when you hold on to stuff? It's like sentimental.
Right. I'm the opposite. Yeah.
So I feel like I only keep what I know I'm gonna need at some point. But what should I throw out? If I had to get rid of something, it'd be something like, I don't know, a TV or something like
Yeah.
materialist. Like I could just use my laptop or phone if I had to. My phone I would not want to get rid of because that's how I organise my life. Yeah, I don't know. I think something I don't use too much.
What keeps you up at night?
I'm actually a really deep sleeper. I get to sleep really quickly, so not too much. But definitely the night before a shoot.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah, same, probably.
Especially when it's my own shoot.
Yeah.
Because I know that my grade is rely on it. Any potential what's the word? Reputation lies on how well the shoot goes. And also when you're working with other people, you don't want to let them down by doing a bad job or not turning up or again that's a genuine worry of mine as well. Is I find it so difficult to get up in the mornings. I feel like I'm constantly tired, and it's one thing being able to get out of bed when you've woken up to your alarm, but sometimes I don't wake up from my alarm.
Yeah,
and
really?
It's like, and I think that is a bit of a stress. Like I kind of before a shoot, I think my body tends to stay in a shallower sleep so that it's easier to wake up. Because I do find myself tossing and turning a lot in the night, like when I'm a bit stressed.
So you should have the phone. Some people have the phone at the other end of the room, and they have to get up and then turn it off. You should try that.
Well, somehow I've managed to do that before and not remember turning off my alarm.
Window or aisle on a plane?
Window.
Window, same, yeah. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Dogs, really? I'd say cats. If you time travelled, where would you go?
Time travelled? Ancient Egypt to find out how they made the pyramids.
Oh, okay. Favourite word?
Flabbergasted.
Flabbergasted.
I don't use it, but it's just a funny word, isn't it?
I'm going to say that every time I see the MC, I'm going to go flabbergasted. Guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure.
Like, for example, do you
playing
eat
Rocket League.
Rocket League? What's that?
Yeah, it's an Xbox game. To be fair, it's just I was like playing Xbox.
Is that what you do?
Pastime, yeah. Not a lot, but definitely just if I've had a long day, I'd just like to sit down for an hour or two and just play Xbox. But yeah, Rocket League something.
Fortnite.
On and off. I definitely used to be a lot, and I played it quite a bit a few months ago, but not so much anymore. But yeah, I go through phases of games, but at the moment, Rocket League.
Favorite superhero?
I was never really a superhero person. Like Batman. Got a cool car.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. DC or Marvel?
Marvel.
Marvel, alright. Photos or videos?
Videos. No.
Yes.
Photos.
Photos. Yeah.
The reason I say that is because you said videos are not film. I think.
Oh, like film videos
Film
or
videos.
pictures and.
Film.
Video. Favorite camera.
Favorite camera. Been using the Blackmagic Pockets on and off recently.
Oh right.
They're good. But if I was to buy a camera, anytime soon, for a relatively low budget, obviously I'd get a Sony Venice or something if I had, or an Arri if I had 80 grand. But I don't. I really like the FX3. Very good camera.
I'm going to add this question actually. Favorite editing software?
Premiere Pro.
Yeah, I love it.
I really, really want to get into DaVinci.
Yeah,
I can't be bothered to learn it. I find it a bit confusing because when I have used it, I feel like things aren't named what you'd think they would be named, and everything's just not in. I guess because I'm used to Premiere and Photoshop and how all those Adobe softwares work. So going to something different is difficult, but editing software, Premiere, colouring software, DaVinci.
I think the last quickfire question. I got one or two questions like at the end. Who would you like to see on the podcast next? Anyone.
Jacob, Cullen, Calum.
Jacob, Cullen, Calum.
Harrison,
right.
The entire Red Mirror Productions on this one sofa.
Interesting. You could join them for that. That's actually a good shout. Yeah, but it's quite. They've gone now. It's quite hard to get them back.
Yeah. Trying to catch them all in one place is difficult, but.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so here I wanted to, because I want to have a mutual segment where we're going to say names. So mentions. We want to mention Toby, great guy. Will, great guy. John, great guy. Noah, great guy. And Shay, great guy. Anyone else you want to shout out to?
I want to shout out to my mum and dad and my grandma because I don't know whether they'll watch this, to be honest, but they have been very, very, very supportive of me going to university and doing film, which obviously isn't what people first think of when they think of university. And I've had a lot of people go, "Oh, really? You're doing that at uni?" But no, yeah, very supportive.
That's nice. Yeah, that's nice. So, what are you doing next, and what's your next project, basically? Do you have anything in the pipeline?
Well, this semester's a bit weird, isn't it? Because it's got strange modules. So, I've just got the DOP role on the large scale for next year.
Oh yeah, with Will.
Yeah, so that'll be kind of planning for that, which obviously we won't be shooting till September. Just trying to get solid ideas in place and plans for that. That's probably the main film. I'll be helping on other people's films. If Harrison needs me, I'll probably be there.
Have you got a documentary on? Are you doing digital distribution?
Digital distribution. Yep. So we got a little. Actually, I don't want to say too much about that now, but that is another little project that we'll be marketing as much as possible. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll get annoyed with that.
Who's in your group for documentary?
So documentary is me, Toby, John, and Will.
All right.
Again, so yeah.
The Beatles, I call you.
Yeah. Still, again, it's been a busy few weeks, so we need to get on that and start planning that. But
so much to do.
There's a lot to do. It's very stressful.
Yeah. And where can people find you? You
can find me on Instagram at ollie.visual. And also I've got a YouTube channel which is just me posting my films, which is Ollie Blakeway Film.
Oh yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
Thank you for having me on.
Well, this is it. That's it. That's all I've got. Thank you so much for coming on and taking your time to do this.
That was a pretty extensive episode as well. That was good.
Thanks very much. But I know you want to get home quickly.
That's all right. No rush.
But thanks very much. Yeah. I didn't want to stop this now. Well, thanks very much to Ollie for being on the podcast. If you want to be on the podcast, let me know. I'll see if I can fit you in. So go to CT Plus Productions and you can find Ollie. I'll put this down here. I feel like a YouTuber. You can put... I'll
get my own handle. That's sick. I get my own handle. Can I have it?
Yeah, you can have it like there. If you find Ollie, it'll be at the bottom, his Instagram or something below. But thanks very much, Ollie. Thank you again. Thank you very much.
That's all right.
And that's Chatting That Podcast, episode 1. Woo! Thanks. Awesome. Oh, actually, hang on. Sign my book.
Sign your book?
Yeah, please.
Where am I signing it?
Sign it episode 1. So as Ollie signs that, thanks very much. Cheers. That's Chatting That Podcast.